Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Chicago Fire star reflects on Otis' lasting impact on Cruz. There is no Cruz without Otis. Chicago Fire actor Joe Minoso discusses the impact that former character Brian Otis Zvancek has had on Cruz's journey through the show. The series, which kicked off the One Chicago franchise, debuted on NBC in October 2012 and has become one of the network's most successful shows. Minoso has played the fan-favorite role of Cruz in the Chicago Fire cast since Season 1. The character developed a strong friendship with Yuri Sadorov's Otis before the latter's tragic death in the Chicago Fire Season 7 finale, an event which hugely impacted Cruz as a character. In an exclusive interview with Screen Rant, Minoso discussed how Otis' death continues to shape Cruz years later, and how Joe's decision to name his son Otis ensures that his late friend's memory will live on always. Discussing his close relationship with former co-star Sadorov, Minoso talked about how the Otis actor visited the set recently, and it was great to reconnect with him. Check out Minoso's full comments below. Minoso's comments show the impact and importance that Otis had and continues to have on Cruz's life. As he is now a father and named his child after his late friend, the two men are now connected on a deeper level and will always be a part of one another. Cruz has come a long way as a character since the show began, and as his life and career are thrown into turmoil by the events of the back half of Chicago Fire Season 13, he would do well to keep his friend's memory close at hand. After being blackmailed by gang member Junior Polanco for his role in a long-ago fire that resulted in the death of Polanco's cousin Flaco, Cruz aids Polanco in robbing Firehouse 51, but is shot, leaving his DNA at the scene. This could spell big trouble for the One Chicago stalwart, who will be lying to his crew. He may even feel guilty for dishonoring his dead friend's memory. This has fueled belief that Cruz could leave Chicago Fire, but his bravery and dedication to honoring Otis could prompt him to do the right thing and come clean about his past. Otis and Cruz had a strong bond that has endured even after the former's death, with his final words to Cruz translating as "Brother, I will be with you always." Cruz's child sharing a name with Otis helps cement this fact, and should see Cruz seek advice and comfort in the memory of his friend, he will likely come away feeling more centered and closer to Otis. While it is unclear whether Minoso will be leaving Chicago Fire, the recent events in Cruz's life make for an uncertain future, and one in which he could use the advice of his late friend more than ever. Joe Minoso, who has portrayed firefighter Joe Cruz on NBC's Chicago Fire since the series debuted in 2012, has had more than a decade to live with the character. But in a recent heartfelt interview, the actor shared that even after all these years, and all the fires, cliffhangers, and life-or-death rescues, there's still one storyline that hits the deepest: the death of his best friend and fellow firefighter Brian Otis Zvancek. There is no Cruz without Otis, Minoso said, his voice thick with emotion. From the first day, their bond wasn't just comic relief, it was the emotional heartbeat of the firehouse. Losing Otis wasn't just about Cruz losing a friend, it was like he lost a part of his soul. Otis, played by Yuri Sadourov, died heroically in the Season 8 premiere after suffering fatal injuries in a factory explosion. The image of Cruz holding his best friend in the hospital, watching him slip away, is burned into the memory of every Chicago Fire fan. But for Minoso, that moment transcended fiction. "When we filmed Otis' final scene, I couldn't separate myself from Cruz," he said. "Yuri and I had worked side by side for years. We've grown together. So when I was crying over him in that bed, those weren't just Cruz's tears. Those were mine too." In the years since Otis' passing, Chicago Fire has shown Cruz grappling with grief, fatherhood, and leadership, but the shadow of Otis remains ever present. In Cruz's locker hangs a photo of the two together. The firehouse still honors Otis' memory with a plaque, and fans often spot the subtle nods, a glance at the memorial, a moment of silence before a risky call. "Those little gestures are important," Minoso said, "because Otis mattered. His absence isn't something Cruz just got over. It changed the trajectory of who Cruz became. Every decision, every close call, every moment of fear. Otis is there. He's the voice in Cruz's head reminding him why he does what he does. Mignoso went on to reflect on how Otis' death fundamentally shifted Cruz's character. Before, Cruz was often the light-hearted counterpart, the jokester who could ease tension with a smirk and a witty one-liner. But after Otis' death, something hardened in him. He became more serious, more driven, yet also more vulnerable. Grief has a way of cracking you open, Mignoso explained. It exposes all the things you didn't say, the hugs you didn't give. Cruz became a man haunted by the what-ifs, but he also became a man who loved harder, fought harder, because he realized how fleeting this life is. That evolution culminated in Cruz becoming a husband and a father, a journey Mignoso says was directly shaped by Otis. I truly believe Cruz would have never gotten to where he is without Otis, he said. Otis saw the best in him. He believed in Cruz before Cruz believed in himself. That kind of friendship doesn't just vanish, it builds the foundation of who you are. Fans saw that emotional complexity play out in Season 10 when Cruz was trapped underwater during a dramatic rescue. As he fought to survive, visions of Otis appeared, his old friend smiling, reaching out, reminding him to fight. That moment wasn't just a storytelling device, Mignoso revealed. It was a tribute. We pitched that scene as a way to bring Otis back, just for a moment, he said, to show the audience and ourselves that love doesn't end with death. Otis will always be with Cruz, in his choices, in his courage, in his heart. Off-screen, Mignoso and Sardarov have maintained their real-life friendship, often catching up for dinner or texting about old times. Mignoso said their bond made filming Otis' farewell all the more gut-wrenching, but also deeply authentic. I think that's why it resonated with so many fans, he said, because it was real. You can't fake that kind of love. Asked whether he'd ever want Otis to return in a dream sequence or flashback, Mignoso didn't hesitate. Absolutely. 1,000 times yes, he said, smiling. Cruz's story isn't finished, and Otis is part of every chapter, whether it's as a memory, a whisper in his conscience, or a face he sees when things get dark. Otis is still guiding him, and I think the audience feels that too. As Chicago Fire marches on through its 12th season, Mignoso says he's honored to keep carrying Otis' legacy. Every time I suit up, I think of Yuri. I think of Otis. That goofy smile, that laugh, the way he used to drive Cruz nuts in the best way, and I just hope I'm doing him justice. He paused, glancing down, as if picturing that firehouse couch where so many of their scenes began. I miss him, Cruz misses him. But maybe that's the point, grief doesn't fade. It becomes part of you. And for Cruz, Otis is the reason he keeps getting back on the rig, to make him proud. And somewhere, deep in the heart of Firehouse 51, Otis is surely watching.